Hello, welcome to Live United. My name is Karen Knapp, President, CEO, United Way of St. Lucie County. Today we're going to talk about a very important program that the St. Lucie County basically has been leading the way for many years now that has helped hundreds, if not thousands, of St. Lucie County residents. It's a tax assistance program. And United Way is happy to say that this year we are going to be partners with St. Lucie County. So welcome, Renee and Jessica.
Thank you.
Well, Jessica, you're a new member of United Way,
Yes.
the United Way family. And Renee, St. Lucie County Community Services.
Yes.
You do so much in the community and much of what people do not know about. The partnerships that I was talking about earlier, let's talk about a few of those partnerships and how important they are to the tax assistance program here in St. Lucie County.
Okay, well, we have Mustard Seed Ministries, and they provide space at all of their thrift stores, both of their thrift stores, one in Port St. Lucie and one in Fort Pierce. We have a partnership with Indian River State College. They provide students to do the taxes, and they provide space. They also provide the training rooms for our taxes. We also have the new partner last year was United Against Poverty, and they opened a Saturday site. They're our one and only Saturday site, which helps the working people. Mm-hmm. And let's see, who did I forget?
United Way will have a site this year.
This year, United Way is brand new with a site at their office.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so important for United Way to be involved with this program because, you know, it's all about getting additional dollars in the hands of hardworking St. Lucie County residents. And it's the Vita program. Let's tell the audience what Vita means.
Vita stands for the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, and it's a free tax prep program for low to moderate income families. So if you make under $54,000 a year, you qualify for free tax prep assistance through the program.
Mm-hmm. And in order to really run the program, you need not only your partners, but you need volunteers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And right now I know it's an important job that you've taken on to recruit volunteers. Yep. Let's talk about recruiting the volunteers, then we'll talk about a little bit about the volunteers that have been working with you and helping people for many years.
Well, first off, we have many returning volunteers. We have each site has approximately 4 to 6 volunteers that are steady. They're there every day of the week that the site is open. We have one new site that we need quite a few volunteers on. We even have an opportunity to have a new site at the Fort Pierce Library if we had a volunteer coordinator. So it's very important that we are always recruiting new volunteers. They don't need to have any experience. They could be a greeter. They could screen people, be an interpreter, or they could test to basic, intermediate, or advanced.
And the IRS will provide all the training free to the volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
Right now the dates are January 9th through the 13th, 9 to 1 p.m. at IRSC.
Do they have to attend every class, or is it?
Mm-hmm.
If they want the in-class training, it's better if they attend the whole week. But there is online training. And they can do this if they're familiar with the computer, if they have tax experience. They can go to irs.gov, just type in Link and Learn, and they could take the classes online.
So a volunteer could just be someone who has done their own taxes for many years and understands the
Yes.
ins and outs. And if they want to volunteer, so you don't have to have worked for a company that professionally does
You don't have to be
taxes.
a CPA. You could be just a normal person that's filed their own taxes, that have an interest in helping other people file their own taxes as well.
How many volunteers are you looking for now?
Right now, we're hoping that we have 15 to 20 volunteers. All we request is that they volunteer 4 hours a week. So we don't want them there every day. Sometimes that's just too much for one volunteer. So we're looking to maybe 15 to 20. We could have 4 to 5 for each site. And as they work through it, and they'll sit with the volunteers, the experienced volunteers, they'll sit and do taxes with them. Maybe they'll be a greeter. And then next year, maybe they'll be ready to go off on their own.
The sites that are going to be available let's talk about where they're located.
So right now we have 5 locations confirmed. 3 of them are going to be in Fort Pierce and 2 in Port St. Lucie. There's the potential for one additional site that Renee has mentioned that would be in Fort Pierce.
Yes, downtown library.
Yep. So right now the 3 Fort Pierce sites are going to be the United Against Poverty, Mustard Seed Ministries, and then there's one at IRS-C. United Way will have a walk-in type of site also in Fort Pierce. There'll be 2 in Port St. Lucie. One at Mustard Seed in Port St. Lucie, and then one at the city of Port St. Lucie as well.
And how will the people who want to get their taxes done, how are they going to find out about the information they need to bring and a reminder of the times and a reminder of the locations? I know that they can call 211, but is there a website they can?
Yes, what we do is we'll have that information on our website, the county website, and we'll also send out flyers. We will put those in, we'll send them out with the schools, the Parent Academy, the Early Learning Coalition, and on the back of the flyer will be all the documents they need. But they can go to the IRS website, type in Vita in the search engine, and it will tell them everything they need to bring.
And some of the things they need to bring with them is it will be like proof of identification, Social Security, the normal stuff, wages, proof of wages.
Right.
Yep.
Because it is for working families and
Right.
working individuals. Let's talk about the volunteers. And, when you volunteer for any agency, volunteers always tell me that it means more to them than it does to the agency they're volunteering for. What do you see with the volunteers that you have experienced throughout the years? Do you see that they get a lot from it?
Yes,
are they excited about it?
They are.
I'm sure it's very rewarding when you think about all the people that you're helping and the additional income that you're bringing into St. Lucie County.
Well, in the volunteers, they're moved by the people who come in, and they don't just do their taxes. They hear their stories. They help them with other problems that they may have or other issues, and we provide flyers and brochures and program information so that it's available to the taxpayer coming in. I know one time we had a taxpayer who they were trying to get an appointment, I believe, in the hands clinic, and they needed their tax return. And we just went right into the site, and the volunteer did their tax return, and within probably 4 hours, they were there with their appointment.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's a great program.
And also, we want to talk a little bit about the earned income tax credits that are available. Who wants to start that topic?
So the Earned Income Tax Credit is also known as the EITC credit. That is for the low to moderate income working families to help them keep more of what they've earned in their paychecks. So it's part of the tax returns. As you go through the process, they'll determine your eligibility based on the documents that you present, your familial size, things like that. And to qualify, you have to meet the certain requirements, file a tax return, and if there's any taxes that have ever been owed, pay that back as well, and you'll receive that money back.
Let's talk about why that's so important to this community, bringing those additional dollars in and the people and how it affects their lives.
Well, for many of our families, this is part of their yearly budget. They know that during, when they receive that credit, that this could be to buy a car. Because or it could be to buy tires for repair. Sometimes it's their deposit to move into a better apartment. This is something that they plan on each year and use as, or maybe just to pay bills. They know they have it, now they can catch up for the year.
Right.
So your partnership with the IRS, we're talking about training. We want people to understand how important it is that partnership exists. And that's been going on for many years.
Yes.
So let's talk about a little bit more about the training and what is involved in the training if someone signs up. We were talking about how many hours a day for 4 or 5 days.
Well, what they do is they'll call our office and they'll sign up. We need to have a count of how many people, and the trainer will go through the entire book with them. Then they have to test. and whether it's basic, advanced, intermediate, whatever they want to test to. And the IRS is there to support us all the way. They provide the training books. And if someone wants to take the training online and they have questions, they can call. They provide support for that too.
So when you talk about earned income tax credit, you talk about the families that it is helping in St. Lucie County. Many times families are in need of, I'm thinking of my daughter, just to put a down payment on braces, to put a down payment on a car, to pay off bills. That additional money is very important, and there are many people in this community who do not realize they have that coming to them.
Right.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the income level of those individuals and who would qualify? I know you have that information. I didn't know if you had anything specific, but, and I do know that after you say this, people will be able to get the information online as well.
Yes, they will. And what it is their earned income. They have to have earned income to qualify. Yep. So their earned income, or just a gross income, say for a household of 3, can be no more than $47,955 a year. Someone without children, if their income is lower than $14,800, they can also get the earned income credit.
And that's if they're single. Now, if they're married filing joint, it's a little higher.
Yes.
So for married filing joint, if they have 0 kids, it's $20,430. But if they have a household of 5, 2 married, it would be $53,500.
Yes.
In order to qualify for the earned income tax credit.
And we're talking $6,000 if you have 3 or more children.
Yeah.
That's a large chunk of money. So that can help them tremendously with their bills, or like we said, if they had to, buy a car.
Right.
Or.
And what qualifies a child when you're talking about the credits?
Well, they have to live, with the parent more than 6 months of the year, be under 19, or be special needs child, I believe.
And not be claimed on anybody else's tax returns for that tax year.
And United Way plays a role in this now. We're very excited about that, and we hope to play an even larger role in the years to come. Let's talk about how important it is to have those partnerships in St. Lucie County. We're talking about partnerships with Mustard Seed, partnerships with the City of Port St. Lucie, with Indian River State College, of course with the county, United Way, the IRS. How important are those partnerships in St. Lucie County, and how does that benefit the citizens of St. Lucie County?
I think the partnerships are extremely important. If it wasn't for the partners, we wouldn't have as many sites as we currently can offer. We wouldn't be able to touch as many possible residents as we can, and we wouldn't be able to get the word out to as many people as we can. It helps extend our reach within the community. If we didn't have the partners, we wouldn't be able to do it.
And St. Lucie County does so much throughout the year. You look at the county administration, the county commissioners, county administrator, community service, and all that you do. And I know we're getting ready for the holidays, and we were talking earlier about the Christmas kids and how you're involved with that. And so many people right now are calling agencies like United Way, because they are in need of help. They're in need of additional cash. They're in need of gifts for their child. They're in need of food, clothing, shelter. We do have time, so we can talk a little bit more about the county and your job and what you do in St. Lucie County and how important that is. So, I'm just going to leave it open to you.
Well, the holidays are a hard time, and so we just got done registering over 1,000 children. We work with WPSL, and we do the registration, and they provide the toys for the children for the holidays. We also have an Adopt a Family program. Right now, we have more families than we have individuals or groups offering to adopt them. WPSL is 12 and under, and we try to, help families that we have met through the year with children that are a little older sometimes, or sometimes we're helping the parent. People that adopt the families, they want to buy for the whole family. So it's a very good program there.
So how does that, that's interesting. How do you start out? How do you begin that process? If you're looking for a family you'd like to adopt, and I'm sure you've put the family through screening, so
Yes,
you know they
yes.
really are truly in need. So how does the process begin?
What they would do is they'd call our office and let us know that they would like to adopt a family. And many people choose. Some people want families with small children. Some people only want a family, a single mom. Some people want an entire family, a mother, a father, and kids, because they want to buy for the adults as well. And so all they have to do is call our office, and we'll find a family. What we do is everything goes through our office. We don't have them go out to the family, but we provide them with a list and a little letter from the family. They shop, they bring it to our office, and then we have the client come pick it up.
Okay. Do they wrap it? And
Yes, they wrap it. They sometimes buy a tree. They sometimes include food. It's wonderful. Our office also does it because we've seen how happy the families are when they come and they walk in and they have bags and gifts and everything's all wrapped and gives me goosebumps. And so we enjoy it so much that for the last few years we adopted one of the families ourselves with community services.
oh, that's so nice. That's very nice.
Yes.
And you were going to talk about another program that you do?
Other programs we do, we have, we noticed that a gap in services were when in order to get a ID or a license, you have to have your birth certificate now. And we have so many people that it's so hard for them to do that, to remember, what streets they lived on. There's so many questions asked if you lost your birth certificate and you need to find it. So we have an ID program. We work with a tax collector, and we sit with them, and we have a couple sources where we can look up, what streets they used to live on, so we can send in the correct documentation and get their birth certificate. Then they're eligible to get their ID. Without an ID, they can't apply for services. They can't get into the hands clinic if they needed to. Some of them are driver's license. They need them for employment. So we do that. We have a transportation program where if you're working or you're going to school, and say you just started your job, so you don't have a vehicle, we can provide monthly bus passes to you for you to get back and forth to work. Of course, you have to, be on the bus route or to the college. We provide passes for people going to school. We have an education program, and many times people lost their financial aid. Maybe they were younger, maybe they weren't, maybe they just had a situation. And so what we try to do is we will pay for their classes to get their financial aid reinstated. And then once it's reinstated, then they can go on to get their degrees. And that's been a very popular program, because otherwise, someone not working or someone very low income doesn't have that funding to pay, maybe $300 a class plus books, and we take care of that.
So how does someone find out about that? I mean, to take advantage of?
With many organizations in town, we have referral services and voucher programs, and we also have it on our website. We attend outreach fairs, and we give out our brochures that all describe this. So all they have to do is call our office.
So do you depend on volunteers? Are you in need of volunteers?
We don't per se have volunteers for human services, because what we deal with is a lot of personal information for people, and it's a lot of case management. So right in our department for human services, we don't, except for Vita. Vita, we are always looking for volunteers.
Yeah, volunteer tax assistance program,
Yes.
right?
Yes, that is it.
Yeah, it's so important to help working families, and that is one thing that when United Way funds programs, we do think about what we call the ALICE individual.
Yes.
Asset limited, income constrained,
Employed.
Yep.
Right. So these people who are just living on the possibly living on the verge of poverty, and there's so many people in our community that just get by paycheck to paycheck, and it's no fault of their own. They're both the couple is working, or and sometimes things happen.
Yes.
And, you know, it's just hard to pull yourself up. So that's why it's so important to have these additional funds and to help people realize that that money is available to them. Let's talk about getting the word out one more time. I know we touched on it earlier, but getting the word out about where they can find the sites, you know, who's involved, and just in case someone's just joined us, we want to make sure that we get that additional information out.
Well, once we have the dates and times set, our flyers will go out everywhere. And people can always call 211, they can call our office, they can call your office, and we can update them because we don't know right now the exact starting date. Our hours will get finalized at the end. It just depends on the volunteers. We are hoping the more volunteers we have, the longer our hours and our days will be open. So it's basically 211, United Way, City of Port St. Lucie, United Against Poverty, Mustard Seed. Each of the sites, you know, they could call and find out when it gets close, and they'll let them know.
What if there's an agency out there who would like to partner? You
Oh,
know,
they
next
just-
year?
They can call one of us.
Yes. Yeah, they could call the United Way, and we can field that for
Okay.
them.
Right. So is there anything we forgot? We still have a few minutes left. Is there anything we forgot to cover? Is there anything you'd like to talk about,
Well,
you know, that you're
maybe
doing?
just if anybody is worried about, in calling, I've spoken with a lot of new volunteers in the past couple weeks. And one of the main questions was if they didn't have the experience, they were leery of being responsible for somebody's tax return. So I assured them that each tax return is quality controlled. The volunteer prepares the return, and after that, usually the site coordinator or someone who's more advanced training looks it over. While the taxpayer is there, they review everything step by step, line by line. So it's a process that's, you know, put in place so that there are no mistakes on the tax return.
That's
And
very
so that assured
important.
them quite a bit.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very important point. And we'd like the audience to know that this is St. Lucie County, but in Martin and Indian River, they also have their own programs as well.
Yeah.
So if they're interested or they're in need, they can call the United Way in Martin County or Indian River County, but 211 will,
Yep.
they call 211, 211 will give them that information. Well, I want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I know that it's so important what you do each and every day, and people really don't realize the resources that are out there and available to them. And we would like to thank you for joining us as well. And if you need any more information, you can call 211 or you can call the United Way at 464-5300. Thank you for joining us.